Joe, it's a Disney Spirits podcast, episode 10. We're only up to episode 10. It seems like we've had so many episodes for April 2021. It's 2021. Is it 2023, 29? I don't even know. Anyways.
It seems that way.
Yeah. So, thanks to
oddly, oddly, it seems that way, but we haven't done a podcast in quite a long time, and it seems like a blink of the eye since we've done the last one, but yet it seems like time is passing slowly.
Time is passing slowly, quickly, and then slowly, and then quickly again. It's very strange, but we have made it to episode 10. I feel like we should have extra drinks or something. It's episode 10. It's like an anniversary for us.
It should. I only have one, though. I do have a bottle right next to me, though. I can just drink right out of that.
Episode 20, we'll take rips off these bottles.
Absolutely. So if we're still in under COVID restrictions, we probably will be taking rips off the bottle on episode 20.
Episode 20 will be just a video of us laying on the ground, hammered. All right. Personal intros. I'm Gary, and that is Joe. And we love theme parks and cocktails, and we feel that life is better with the two of them mixed. Don't you agree, Joe?
I couldn't agree more, Gary. Could not agree more.
That's good, because this is as much your podcast as it is mine.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you sharing with me.
Oh, Joe, we didn't do the normal intro. What's going on, Gare, is what you normally say.
What's going on, Gary?
What's going on, Gare? You know why? Because I wanted to talk about my epic beard, because it's epic. It's not just the beard; it's epic. Yeah,
it's epic. Yep.
Yeah.
You've been grooming yourself. You're looking good.
Yeah. I cut my fingernails because they were out to here at one point, and my hair was down to about my waist, so I've cut that up. I'm all cleaned up. I trimmed up my beard, which was kind of over here. Everything's good now. All right, we're back.
The COVID cut, the COVID groom. You're all set to go.
Yeah. So, no. Email, promotions, sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, right. Why do I want to jump right to the drinks? I don't know what it is about me.
So with the Disney Spirits podcast, be sure to email it as thedisneyspirits@gmail.com. Feel free to share these podcasts with friends, please. That's very helpful to us. Make sure you rate the podcast on any of your preferred podcast medium, and make sure you go out to YouTube, because we got a bunch of videos. This video will be up on YouTube hopefully soon, but we also have drink videos, and hopefully we'll be putting up other fun videos soon. Got to get Joe out there with his video camera.
That's right.
And some rides, yeah. And we're going to do some ride commentary. We got to do that. That was fun, and we'll see how that works on the actual channel. But please go out there, YouTube, subscribe, hit that reminder button. That's apparently helpful to the algorithm. What else? I think I said everything else. We're on every podcast. Yep, we're on every podcast medium at this point. So go out there and like us and subscribe and do all the things that would help us, get more popular.
Right. Yeah. We have a sponsor now. We have a sponsor now, Dreamport Creative Studios. They're on Etsy and Redbubble. They have around the world lanyards and other Disney themed downloadables, as well as craft brew themed stickers and T-shirts. And their artwork is awesome. They did our logo, and they did a tremendous job. And yet another company that combines theme parks and drinking, so they fit right in with us. They're the perfect sponsor. Perfect sponsor.
Thanks for sticking around with us while we were on hiatus, Dreamport.
Yes. Thank you, Dreamport Creative Studios.
That's right. I had the sticker, and I don't know where it went. Well, anyways, I'll show it in the video after I edit this. But all right, Joe, your favorite part. You want to do your drink first? You were chomping at the bit.
Sure. My drink is a simple martini, but it's done with a gin, gray whale gin, that I discovered at SeaWorld at the Sharks Underwater Bar and Grill, which is an awesome restaurant. If you've never been there, it has a glass walls into the shark encounter exhibit. So you're basically eating and drinking with the sharks, and it's incredibly cool. Anyway, they feature this gin in a drink called Welcome Back, which is
that's awesome.
It's their twist on the French 75. I did not make that tonight. I just made a simple martini, 4-1 with Dolan and a twist of lemon. And it's absolutely delicious. This gin has all California botanicals, has juniper, pine, kelp, almonds, limes, all from California. And they give back a portion of their proceeds to whale conservation. So that's kind of neat too. So it's absolutely delicious.
Very cool. Tell me about the kelp in that.
Yeah,
hear that a little bit. Like,
yeah,
that's not normal botanical.
It's not a normal botanical, so it's there, and you can taste it, and it's different, but in a good way. It's not overwhelming. It's a gin, so it's not like, it doesn't like jump out at you, but it's there, and you're like, that's interesting and good. It tastes good, So and of course, Dolan's a good vermouth to let the botanicals shine in your martini. So maybe in a future podcast, I'll make the whale come back, because it sounds pretty awesome.
That's really cool.
But not tonight.
All right. Did you? There you go. I was going to say, you kind of got to take a pull off your drink there. It's like, I think that's legal. You legally have to do that.
Absolutely. Gary, your drink?
Yeah, my drink is the Hendrix Lunar Cosmic Cooler, which sounds awesome. Really, it's a lime Ricky, but it's got a cucumber as garnish. Because why not? Hendrix got that heat of cucumber, so why not? Look at this, and it tastes awesome. This is perfect. Joe, when I'm coming to visit you, this is what we're going to be having on your lanai here. We're going to have like 50 of these, so this thing is awesome.
Sounds awesome. I'm ready.
All right. So here's the cool thing. We both have gins that we discovered. This one I don't have as cool a story. I was just at the liquor store and saw this, and I was like, oh, I need this. This is I figured when if I leave the place without getting that, it would be a disservice to myself. I know you're a big Hendrix fan, and that is a great gin. Also, it is a very there's a lot of buzz around that gin. If you go to the gin forum on Reddit, you'll see that a lot of people are talking about that gin, and definitely was on my list of gins to pick up. Apparently super lucky that I got it, because it's so popular. It's like selling out all the place.
It is. So it's selling out.
Right place.
Yep. Perfect.
So, it's a really good gin. It's got the normal Hendrix botanicals, but it's got a little heavier on the floral, but which is fine with me. As heavy as Hendrix could be. On the floral, like you said, it doesn't beat you over the head with it.
Right.
It's got warm baked spices, which is interesting. I don't really get that. And as we talked earlier, Joe, I was thinking I should make a martini out of this, but then I saw that Cosmic Cooler, and I kind of thought, come on, I need to.
You got the rest of the bottle.
Yeah.
Martinis out
That's
of.
right.
It sounds pretty awesome. The Cosmic Cooler.
yeah, it's very good. Generally when I get a new gin, I like to make a martini out of it to really let the gin shine and really, get the feel of what the gin's all about. But it does finish with a crisp citrus, which is awesome. As anybody who drinks Hendrix knows, it's got that cucumber undertones in the citrus in front, and it's awesome. The Cosmic Cooler is I did 2 shots of Hendrix, 3/4 shot of lime juice, half simple syrup, and then just filled the rest with ice and club soda, and got to use that garnish. It's key.
That's it. The cucumber garnish.
Not a line. It's cucumber garnish. Bruised.
And that clocks in at 86 proof. You said before, and mine is also 86 proof. So.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you. I know it's been a little while. I've been on a beer kick lately because we have so many good microbrews around. But now that I just made myself a cocktail, I'm like, where have I been?
Speaking of beers, I don't know if you've heard of a beer called Pseudo Sue. It's yeah. It's got 100 on Beer Advocate.
Wow, and it's really good.
I was at Thunder Falls Terrace in Islands of Adventure last weekend, and I'm like, ordered my dinner on thing, and I'm like, Pseudo Sue, awesome. so they had Pseudo Sue there. It's hard to get around here. You can't. It's sold out.
Around here, it's pretty easy to get. I forget where the brewery is, but
I believe it's in Iowa.
Yeah, it's somewhere middle. I will. I don't want to one up, but I'm gonna anyways because I've had King Sue as well, and that's the like the Imperial IPA of the Pseudo Sue. And
okay, awesome. There you go. Yeah, I bet.
We sometimes go higher up in the alcohol content, you get more of a malty IPA.
Yeah,
but it's not that at all. It stands up. It's really good. So highly recommend it. And hey, maybe I'll fill my suitcase when I come visit you.
There you go. Or maybe we'll just go to Thunder Falls Terrace, right?
Jeez, that sounds like a plan. A lot easier to carry. It's a lot easier than carrying that suitcase around.
That's right. Exactly. Anyway.
All right. So moving along. I mean, let me take another sip of this because.
All right. Cheers.
It's very good. Cheers, Joe. So anything from last podcast? I honestly have not listened to the last podcast in a little while. I know you had kind of poked around for a little bit, but I don't think we left anything on the table on that one. I don't think we didn't get any emails.
I can't remember the last podcast, but I do. I know I did listen to it. I can't. Nothing that we said that was a mistake sticks out in my mind. So I'm going to say we just kind of pass right over that because that was a while ago. And
I remember one of our listeners sent us an email, except I forget what the question was, and I know I chatted with him, and I didn't bring it up in this podcast. I can't remember what it was. But
wherever you are, we apologize.
Sending us emails like, "Where's your next podcast?" I like this group of followers we have.
Yeah. Where's your next podcast?
Yeah, where's your next podcast? Come on, we're listening.
Coming now.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, working on it.
Yeah, life gets in the way sometimes, unfortunately.
Surely does.
Yes, it does.
Yep. All right. As always, because we're so professional with these podcasts, we have no reviews of last podcast that we have to talk about. So let's move on to theme park news. Joe, the thing I wanted to bring up.
Yes.
Hey, did you hear a little thing of the Tron coaster? Hey, they're actually going to build that. I thought they were going to stop building that.
Yeah, I thought it was. Everybody's panicking and saying it's on hold. It's never going to be built. Guess what? It's going to be built. Don't worry about it. It's coming.
Hey, we didn't panic.
Yeah, I don't panic. And by the way, the People Mover is going to open again someday too. Don't worry about that either.
That's how they did recently see that they tested that. They replaced some of the magnets and then they tested it. So could be open soon too.
They pushed it back another month, and everybody was kind of like freaking out. So yeah, it's been a while, but I think they're probably with less people in the park. It doesn't seem like less people in the parks when you go there, but there is less people in the parks, and then there are several factors that we'll touch on as to why it seems busy. But they don't really need it right now. So
yeah,
and they can afford to work on it and get it right.
Yeah. You're right. Get it right, and don't pay the hurry up. We need this completed by this
summer, by the summer rush, right? Exactly, Easter rush or whatever. Yeah. So they're working on it.
I wanted to bring that one up because everyone was so freaking out, and we were like, "No, this is just normal. Like this is normal." Well, no, as normal as it can be nowadays, but. Yeah.
Well, it's like Universal Epic Universe. It's canceled. It's not coming for 10 years. It's going to be 15, 20 years before it's built. Oh, it's back on again 6 months later. 6 months after they canceled.
Sorry, everybody. We just,
Yeah. Okay. It's weird times, people. Can't jump to conclusions.
Well, plus, it's nothing that we haven't seen before, even in normal times. Like, this is just the way it is. Like, right. We've numerous times. I can't naturally because I brought it up. I can't think of an example at this point, but numerous times we've seen this. It's just normal. Plus, it was the part that got me about the Tron coaster was like they closed up the the structure. They closed it up.
Right.
How did that tell anybody that they weren't working on it anymore? If that immediately told me they're working on the inside pretty heavily, and they want to keep it out of any sort of possible weather.
They're putting theming elements in, and they don't want them to be open to the weather. That's that's the natural progression of building the ride, I think. Mm-hmm. I bet if you went back and saw the one in Shanghai, it would be the same way.
Yep. Okay. So how about all this other construction that's happening, Joe? You know what's exciting? Roller coasters galore, Joe. Roller coasters galore.
Velocicoaster looking amazing. Theming way beyond what I thought it would be, and the elements and the coaster itself just look unbelievable. I'm really excited about that one. We got Icebreaker over at SeaWorld. That looks like it might be. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be fun. I mean, I think that might be a sleeper hit. And we got Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens.
Looks interesting.
That looks amazing. Hopefully, all coming soon to a theme park near you, or actually me.
Not me. No. As I said earlier, Six Flags only has a dinosaur walkthrough as their new thing.
But I don't know if that's the same as the Velocicoaster, but well, whatever.
It's going to be better, Joe. It's going to be better.
You still got Superman there, so you got that.
Yes, I do. That Superman is awesome. Yeah. So that's a pretty good construction updates. I love all this stuff that's happening. I love that there's still the competition between Disney and Universal that didn't really go away so much. Oh, you know what we forgot to mention? Disneyland's gigantic new park expansion.
Oh, right.
It's huge.
Yeah. It is.
Whole nother park. More to come on that. We'll see what's going on. That's pretty big.
There wasn't many details to that, but
No.
Also, we forgot to mention
pictures.
Go ahead. Yeah. I was going to say we forgot to mention Ratatouille, which now has an official opening date, October 1st, which is coincidentally Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary. So
interesting. Who knew?
Yeah. Who knew, right? So now everybody's trying to decide whether they want to go to Epcot or the Magic Kingdom for the 50th anniversary celebration, October 1st date.
Well, that really aligns perfectly with the possible vacation that I'll be taking in August.
There you go. Yeah, right. Exactly. And the sad part about it is, of course, it's ready to go right now. We all know that every ride we've talked about is ready to go. And they're all going to open hopefully this year. But it's, as we mentioned in previous podcasts, kind of silly to open up a ride that is meant to drive up attendance when you've capped attendance and you can't let as many people in. So this is what we're up against.
That's a good segue. I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna circle back to that in a second. But I was just gonna bring up something else about. Oh darn it! I forgot. Darn it!
Oh, sorry, Gary.
I was like,
you had it, and then it just spun around and you lost it.
Yep.
It'll come back. Don't worry. Break in whenever you remember it.
Well, I forgot what I was going to say, but anyways, that's a perfect segue because we've been talking. You and I have been talking about how busy the parks are and how Universal has to keep closing for the day because they get maximum capacity, and they have to close. And the parks do seem really like I've seen pictures. That's as far as I can go, but. Do you know anybody who's been there recently? To any of the parks? Universal, SeaWorld, Disney?
Possibly. I know some people that have been there. Maybe.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Eyewitness.
Let me try and tell you what those people told me. Yeah. The parks are very busy right now. Universal has, like you say, closed for maximum capacity, usually around noon every day over the past 2-3 weeks. And there's been a few exceptions. The 2 days I was there last weekend, they didn't close, but they were very busy. And of course, part of this, they are letting more people in as they slowly open up. They are opening up the capacity of the rides a little bit. Some are loading every row. They're still doing the hand sanitizer. When you ride a ride at Universal or go in a restaurant, they meet you at the door with hand sanitizer, make you sanitize your hands before you get on the ride or go in the restaurant. So that is a good thing, I think. Will help stop the spread. Like I said, they are opening up more rows. They were previously closing every other row on attractions. Some of them are starting to load every row, and a lot of them do have plexiglass in between the rows, but they're slowly opening up. But it's still less people on the rides, so there's more people in line for the rides, and there's more people out on the walkways, and that makes that.
Hold that for just 1 second. Hold that thought for just 1 second, because please allow me to introduce tonight's list of things to know when you're going to the parks during COVID. Right. Because Joe, he dove right in. He has been wanting to talk about this, and he just dove right in. We missed my whole introduction. But
I thought we were starting, Gary.
Here it is. Yeah.
I thought we start. But I will tell you, yes. I have been to the parks. I've been to every park, and I've been there. I've probably been to Orlando about 15 times since Universal first opened. I've stayed at Universal. I've stayed at Disney. I've stayed off property, and everybody is slowly trying to return to normal, but we'll dive into the what the experience is like at both parks, Universal and Disney. First of all, before you go to Universal, you don't have to remember anything. There are no reservations that are required. SeaWorld and Disney, you do have to make reservations. A lot of times at Disney, reservation. What were you saying?
SeaWorld.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So SeaWorld, how I think we touched on that before, but how does SeaWorld do reservations? That's obviously all online on their app as well.
It's all online. You basically buy a ticket and then go make a reservation for the day you want to use that ticket for. And of course, before you make your buy your ticket, you want to make sure that day is available for reservations. Yeah, I haven't
right?
Yeah. I haven't run into any real problems getting SeaWorld reservations. SeaWorld, I think, is a park that has a pretty high capacity based on the fact that they have these massive theaters, and it's a big park acreage wise. So there hasn't really been any trouble getting SeaWorld reservations. Disney, on the other hand, you make reservations on in the My Disney Experience on the website. You can't make reservations in the app. It shoots you to the website. It kicks you out to the website, and I think I take this as a good thing, because it means that someday maybe reservations will go away.
Yeah, I like that. They don't want to add it to the app, because
they're not adding it to the app yet, because
they're going to pull away.
Exactly right. And yeah, they have 3 tiers. There's day ticket guests, hotel guests, and annual pass holders. Annual pass holders have the least amount of They're low on the totem pole. We'll just put it that way. So a lot of times your weekend days will be sold out for annual pass holders. So you really have to plan ahead. Weekdays are usually available. Hollywood Studios is the most popular park. So if you're going and you want Hollywood Studios, you want to book that one right away. Also, what else you need to know? If you're staying on property or you're a day ticket guest, you have a much better chance of getting the reservation that you want.
Hollywood Studios, which is really funny, because Hollywood Studios went from Hollywood Studios, it's fun, and then you throw in Star Wars, and all of a sudden,
and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Toy Story Land, and all of a sudden it is the #1 destination in Disney World. And of course, we know it has a lower capacity than the Magic Kingdom or Epcot. It's a lot smaller. Epcot is the one that's going to fill up the last. It's a big park, and if there's a lot, you'll find a lot of days for annual pass holders, weekend days, where it'll say, there are some reservations available, and that reservation is usually Epcot. Park hopping is back. After 2 p.m., you can park hop. There's a dedicated phone number to call to find out if park hopping is open at every park. I haven't found a case where park hopping has been closed, but of course, I haven't gone in the last spring break time to Disney, so I may have had a while. Yeah, well, yeah, our ticket. We have the gold passes; they're blocked out during spring break and Easter, so I'm good to go this coming weekend. So, but
cool.
Yeah,
and have that number handy because we'll put that right down here, like somewhere. We'll put that.
The park hopping number is I don't know what it is offhand, but it is something you want to have to. And also, if you're going to Universal, again, we're talking about Universal. Universal, if you're a Universal hotel guest, you will get in to the parks whether they're closed or not. But if you're not,
when you're at Universal, I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
Where did you stay when you stayed? Where did you stay at Universal?
Stayed at Endless Summer, Dockside and Surfside. We stayed at Cabana Bay. And Cabana Bay is awesome. Love it. A couple times at Cabana Bay, a couple times at Dockside and Surfside. 2 times at Surfside, 1 time at Dockside. What's that?
Portofino.
I've stayed at Portofino, but I didn't have.
Is that nice?
It's gorgeous. It really
is so nice.
It's awesome. Yeah, you get express if you stay at Portofino.
Yeah.
But the new Universal, the Dockside and Surfside Endless Summer are just really, really, for value hotels, really fantastic value hotels. So and if you want to do a Universal vacation, I can highly recommend those, especially the family suites. Really nice if you have your kids with you. And so anyway, if you're in a Universal hotel, you will get in. If you're not, you're going to want to have their phone number handy because that will tell you if their parks are open. And it's the capacity hotline, right? Exactly. 407 something. Yeah.
I was at 407 W, not Disney.
No, not that one.
Not Disney. 407 W, not Disney.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But lately they've been filling up quite a bit. So you want to keep that phone number handy, and if you can, get to the parks early, before noon if possible. Yeah. And you're gonna find lines. They're not insane. I was looking at the wait times this weekend, and it was very busy, but and Disney as well. But it wasn't over the top crazy. The wait times weren't insane, but you'll be waiting if you're going now. If you wait until say May, you might wait a little bit less and have a little bit easier time.
Minutes, there was nothing even all that crazy. I think back at I didn't look at Universal as much as I was looking at Disney, but even Flight of Passage and those that are normally crazy on the weekend, they get a little bit more busy. But I think it was 40 to 60 minutes, which pretty low for those, even though the parks are packed.
Not
because,
bad.
Like you said, people aren't on rides. The rides aren't chewing up people like they normally do, and all these people are milling around, and there's there's more stuff to do, but not everything to do. But It wasn't bad. An hour, I would wait an hour, no doubt, for Flight of Passage.
Oh yeah, no, we went a few weeks ago, and just before our tickets closed off to Disney, and we were at Animal Kingdom. We did ride Flight of Passage, and this is the thing. Your lines are going to look longer. The line was out onto the walkway, but our wait was really only about 20 minutes. So it's because every one of your lines has got spacing. So it'll say stand here, and then the next stand here is 6 feet away, so you can have social distance. So that makes the lines a lot longer, even though the line time might not be that long, the actual wait time.
If anybody's been on that ride, I mean, how packed in that line is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, the back, the back and forths and all those are you're on top of people for
there's switchbacks.
Switchbacks.
Yeah. Yep.
And all that's taken out sort of like it's every other now, right?
Right. So, and you'll find that some of the pre-shows, like the pre-shows are truncated, or some of them are skipped altogether because they don't want you packed in a pre-show room. There are a lot of them that will have little dots on the floor. It says stand here, you stand here, you stand here. That way everybody's away from each other.
I like that idea after pandemic.
Well, as we spoke about before, some of these things may stick. Some things may stick.
I think some of the stuff is pretty good because I like
some of the stuff may stick. Yeah.
Sometimes people like.
Well, no, without a doubt.
Into you, stand right on top of you. It's like, oh my gosh, like give me some.
Yeah.
Give me 6 inches of social distance.
Could you please get out of my shirt?
Yeah, seriously. Why are you in my pocket?
But,
Joe, I love that. I love that glass, but it disappears when you because your background takes it over. Like the people have to see your glass. You need to take another rip at that because the glass is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Dragon glassware martini glass. They're amazing. The double walled, so your martini stays colder, longer, and I love them. Harry loves them too.
The fact that they are awesome. Yeah, I appreciate the gift, Joe. Awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So,
but we digress. Well, let's do a quick review because we went through a lot of stuff really quickly. So let's talk about Disney. So Disney, you got to make reservations. And you park hopping is available again after 2:00, but you should also call this number, just to make sure that park hopping is available.
Right.
SeaWorld, it's a little bit backwards. You buy the tickets and then find out if you can reserve a time.
Well, you can look at the calendar before you buy the ticket. You can look at the calendar before you buy the tickets. It will say available, and then once you see it's available, then you can purchase
the ticket and grab it,
and then make your reservation after that.
Still sounds just a little bit backwards, but that's
a little bit. Yeah. But
Universal
SeaWorld is all. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, SeaWorld is like Disney and Universal is kind of taking the time to. Plus a lot of things and renovate a lot of things. Shark Encounter got renovated. Quite a few restaurants got renovated. So they're doing some good things over there too. So
very cool. Yeah. Brings us to Universal, which is selling out often because it's hitting maximum capacity. And sorry that you said that there was a number that we'll put up on the screen here.
There is the capacity number.
No reservations though.
There are no reservations for Universal. Yeah,
closing after they hit maximum capacity, and that's it.
Correct. You want to be there early enough to get in. So,
cool. Yeah.
And that has usually been happening lately around noon. Now, once spring break is over with, and we're into May, I would imagine that's going to happen a lot less frequently, and certainly until Florida schools let out completely, and everybody's back to summertime. So who knows what's going to happen then? It's all bets are off because, last summer was a whole different ball game from this summer. So we don't know. It could happen all summer. It could not happen anymore. So we don't know. But
I'd be interested to know, like you said, I want to know how, like, it'd be interesting to sort of like scientifically figure out all the things that were put in place for COVID that are going to stick. Like that's good. That is a future podcast, no doubt.
Without it, I think mobile ordering is a no-brainer. That's going to stay.
Mobile ordering was awesome. Like
it's working really well. It works well at Universal. Right? Works well at Universal. Works well at Disney too. Yeah, both of them. I really enjoyed using them. I think if anything, I think. SeaWorld does not have mobile ordering right now, but I would not be shocked if it's coming. No, they don't have it right now. In fact, they're running the Seven Seas Food Festival right now, and Disney's got the Flower and Garden Festival going right now. So we've got festivals back. So that's another thing. And Universal has Mardi Gras, which was different this year, where the floats, they didn't have a Mardi Gras parade, but they had stationary floats, and when you walk by they would throw beads at you, and it's really, actually they did a good job, and they have food booths everywhere. So all three parks have these food festivals where you can get,
that's awesome.
And all three of them are really well done. At Universal at the Mardi Gras, they have the theme store like they've had lately for all their Halloween Horror Nights, and so it's in the same place, and it's a Mardi Gras themed store. They had the Christmas store there too, and it's really well done, really cool. They have those the wax machines where you can make a wax, the press machines where it injection mold machines. You know what I'm talking about, Gary?
Yeah, what does it make? Do you make your own action figure?
It makes
one of those.
One of them makes a skull, and the other one makes a ship. And I made the ship, and it's sitting right there, and I'm not going to go get it right now. But it's
say, come on, show off. Go
maybe Amy, can you get me the ship?
That's awesome. So I don't think I do this. Like, is this like, I didn't know this. I would have done this.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
I think it was at Star Wars. It was at Star Wars. Star Wars weekends.
Here comes the hand of God. There's the ship.
That's awesome. I love
that. And it says Universal Studios at the bottom. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So that's $6. Well worth it.
Oh, well worth it.
Well worth it. Watching the injection mold and the thing like shakes and the heat. It's like
cool. Awesome. The thing I was talking about was the action figure that, like Star Wars weekends, you could make an action figure of yourself.
Oh wow,
remember
that's
that?
cool. Yeah,
it was expensive.
Yeah,
whatever it was more expensive.
It wasn't $6.
No, it was like $60.
Yeah, more like that. Yeah, more like that. But so that's cool. So they've all got festivals going now. So that's
time
something.
For recap, Joe. Quick recap.
Yes.
Mobile ordering, big deal. Mobile ordering. Disney mobile ordering
on the app. Yes. Mobile ordering on the app. Really good. Really well done.
100% well done. Like really good.
Down pat. Universal mobile ordering, well done. One difference: mobile ordering Disney. You just mobile order. You go pick up your food. You can. They'll tell you on the app it's ready. It's being prepared. Boom, boom, boom. You know, when it's ready, you can actually go in and get it and bring it back and find your own table. At Universal, they take you to a table. And then you order, and then they bring it to you. So you have a place to sit, which I like. I kind of like that.
Do you remember that at the Leaky Cauldron? That was awesome.
Yes.
We went to the Leaky Cauldron. We're all sort of milling around. It was our first time there. Well, it was my first time there. It was milling around. And then they were like, oh, would you like a seat? Are you going to be here to eat? And they say, yep. Yeah. Sat you down, order. Just everything came to the table. It was
right.
It's one,
and I think we've talked. I think we've talked about it before. That's one of the things that Disney, Universal has over Disney, in my opinion, is that when you go to a quick service restaurant, even if you don't mobile order, they make sure you have a seat. You know, I don't know how many times at Disney, especially when it rains, and you'd like be at like say the electric umbrella, you know, R.I.P. electric umbrella.
Cheers, electric umbrella.
Cheers, the electric umbrella. You'd be at the electric umbrella, and then it would start raining, and all of a sudden you're in line picking up your food, and everybody rushes in. They're not buying any food. They're just sitting at the tables, and you're eating over a garbage can. You just paid for your quick service meal, and you're eating over a garbage can, and you're like, come on, nobody here is eating. They shouldn't be able to sit down. I mean, I know they want to get out of the rain. That's fine. Get out of the rain. But you don't take up a table and just look at your phone. You just look at your phone. Yeah, people have paid money to eat food. It's a restaurant. So, I think Universal does that better than Disney. So, but mobile ordering, both of them is great.
Yep. Cool. All right. I cut you off a little bit, but I wanted to recap because we're like throwing like so much info. We just want to make sure that people,
throwing it out.
There's so much info, so many things to think about. Hopefully, our third podcast of this, when we're like, hey, you know, what's changed since COVID and what's different at the parks, our podcast can consist of. It's all back to normal.
It's all normal. Don't worry about it. Just go.
Don't worry about it. Just go.
Reservations.
Yep. Here's where to get good cocktails.
Right. Exactly. That's what we're hoping for. That's it's sooner rather than later. Right. Yep. So, okay. So we'll go back to when you arrive.
Yeah. Sorry. Parking. I hope I didn't screw you up.
Parking at Universal and Disney. Universal, of course, has your garage. Disney has your parking lot. They're both going to skip spaces, and you're not going. Yeah, right. They'll fill them in later. They go back and fill them in later. So you're when you get out of your car, you're distant, socially distant from the other people next to you. You're going to go through temperature checks. If you're staying at a Universal hotel, you're going to be get a temperature check on your arrival to the hotel. They'll give you a wristband, colored wristband for the day. Every day has a different color. and you won't have to get your temperature checked again on property after that. So that's kind of convenient. The Disney doesn't do anything like that. You'll get your temperature checked at the entrance to the theme park. SeaWorld doesn't skip spaces. You just park right as normal, and they don't have individual guns for the temperature check. You actually walk through a tent that takes everyone's temperature as they're walking through, and I would imagine they'll say, "Hey, you!
Yeah,
you're hot.
Takes everyone.
Hey, you!
You're
An
hot.
Average. You're hot. Yeah, thank you very much."
Yeah.
I know. But anyway, so that's the difference between those three. And once you get in your park, of course, everyone's wearing masks. Masks are still required in all three parks, everywhere, except
and they are very serious about it. Except
they are
the restaurants.
very serious about it.
Very serious about it. Very important.
Your mask goes down below your nose. You will be told to wear your mask correctly, and if you don't, you will be kicked out of the park. Plain and simple. So, plan on wearing your mask.
This is a good time for me to talk about this, all these videos that are coming out, people getting thrown out and saying like, I didn't pay this much to get thrown out of the park and all this stuff. Everyone needs to remember it's private property. This is not public property.
Right? Exactly.
Thrown out of private property. They make the rules. That is it. Like you have no right to be there. They are giving the right to be there. That's it.
You're on their property. That's why they call it you're being trespassed. Because they're saying now you're trespassing on our property and we don't want you here. Exactly. So that's it. So think about that before you decide. If you choose to go to Disney, Universal, or SeaWorld, please, 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 I can't stress this enough. Play by the rules. Don't go if you don't want to play by the rules. You don't have to. You can wait until things go, like Gary said and I said, when things go back to normal, there'll be no mask. Hopefully no reservation. No problems. Go, but wait till then. If you're not gonna follow the rules, don't go, because they're gonna call you on it. They're not gonna let you slide. This is not like, hey, it's okay, it's all right, don't worry about it.
Understand that it's very important for them to make sure that everyone is safe at that park because they don't want people getting sick. That is the absolute worst thing that can happen.
One or two cases, it leaks out that 1 or 2 cases come from Disney, Universal, or SeaWorld, and it's going to cause a lot of problems for them. Exactly. So they really, really don't want that. They've done a good job so far. So,
they've done an awesome job. They've gone
really
over they've done the things that they need to do. They've done a great job.
They've done what they need to do.
Spend a lot of money. Done what they need to do. Yep. So now if you're going, it's up to you to do what you need to do. Like remember that you're basically an invited guest, and they can disinvite you at any time they want. It's private property. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
that's all. I see these videos, and I'm watching somebody just like pontificate about I spent so much money for this vacation. I'm not going to get kicked out. Yeah, so
you're getting kicked out, right?
Yeah, you're getting kicked out because
you're getting kicked out right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't follow the rules, and it's their private property. So that's the way it works.
Yeah, that's it.
So previously we talked about park hours being reduced. Park hours are different now, but they have been expanded. And usually, what seems to be happening is Disney will, and Universal and SeaWorld will all pre-announce these park hours, and then later on go back and say, well, we're going to expand them. So as of right now, I think Universal is closing at 10, opening at 8, closing at 10 for both parks for the last few weeks. SeaWorld has also been closing at 10 or 9. Disney has got Epcot closing at 11, but opening at 11, which is weird, but so Magic Kingdom.
What happens at 11? They don't have fireworks show or anything like that. They just open straight till 11.
They're just open straight till 11. Yeah.
So it's almost like extended magic hours there.
It almost is, because it's weird, because when's the last time Epcot was open at 11? But they open at 11 and then they close at 11. So I got a friend here. He's behind my computer.
Catastrophe.
You might try and drink my martini. But anyway, it's actually very cool. So to be Epcot being open so late, and one of the things that it's good for is that you can only park hop after 2, and it gives you an opportunity to go to another park and spend some time there. So
almost like a full day.
Yeah. So so it's kind of cool. Yeah, if you say to yourself, well, I really want to do 3 parks today or 4 parks. Well, as long as the park hopping is open for all the parks, you probably can do it. So especially with one of them open till 11. So that's good. Fast Pass not available. Not Universal
This is
Express.
The only thing that I will say on the Fast Pass. They are actively making changes to the Fast Pass system.
I believe that
100%.
We're going to see something more along the lines of what Disneyland has right now.
When we spent the $15 for Disney Pass.
Certainly.
Max Pass or whatever it was called. Max Pass. Yep. It was totally worth it, according to me.
I think
$15 totally worth
for $15. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yep.
So I think that we might be getting something like that when it comes back, but for right now, we have no Fast Pass. Still, a lot of things are closed. You're going to find a lot of things are closed. A lot of seating in the restaurants are closed.
Hold that thought. I'm going to bring you back to Fast Pass.
Okay,
hold on,
all right.
Because you did Fast Pass Disney. You were just starting to talk about Universal.
Oh, let's go back there. Yes.
Yep. Because Universal has their own Fast Pass system that's still active.
Universal Express is still active right now. So Universal Express, you can get it at the hotels if you're staying at Portofino or any of the top tier hotels. Like Gary liked Portofino, beautiful.
Oh, it's so nice.
Hard Rock,
Hard Rock's awesome as well.
But anyway, so that's available, and also you can purchase it. And depending on the day, it could be as much as $80. So but if you're coming just once and you want to do everything, it might very well be worth it. So, and SeaWorld has their pass.
What about SeaWorld?
Quick Queue is available. So, as we said before, if you stay at one of the SeaWorld partner hotels, you get Quick Queue for free. So that's a good thing. Or you can purchase Quick Queue, either one-time Quick Queue, or you can purchase unlimited Quick Queue. Or if you're an annual pass holder, you might want to purchase year-long Quick Queue, or year-round Quick Queue.
Yeah, it's totally worth it, I think. Yeah, got me on Mako. I just walked right on Mako.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And Mako is well worth it.
It sure is. Anyway, sorry, I wanted to bring you back to that because
and break in anytime. Let me know when I'm going too fast or whatever. Restaurants, I was going to say, are a little harder to get reservations for Disney restaurants. But that being said, on the app, on the My Disney Experience app, you can now join waitlist on restaurants. I think they cut the wait list off. They'll say wait list full if the restaurant wait goes over an hour. But if it's less than an hour, you can put your name on the wait list and they will send you a text when your table is ready. And I've done this a couple times and it really works very well. It's very convenient. So if you are unable to get the reservation for the restaurant you want to go to, you have the option of joining the wait list and eating that way. Other than that, Universal was pretty easy. We ate at Finnegan's last time, which I love. Gary loves. We all love Finnegan's. Come on. If you don't love Finnegan's, I just want to know, are you human?
Yeah, seriously. I love Finnegan's. I mean, and not just because it's a bar. Primarily could be a bar, and that old school bar.
I will say, I know Amy has been to Finnegan's before, but it's been a long time. So she was saying, I don't remember this place. But once we went there and we ate and we drank and we saw Finnegan's, and she was like, yeah, I really love that place. I'm like, join the club.
They dragged us all in there last time, and I bought us a round of Guinness. But she was interested in that big donut. That's what that she wanted. That donut.
She wanted the big pink.
Move to that donut. Yeah,
the big pink, right?
Big.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did get that donut, but then we went to Duff's. But still, Finnegan's, one of my favorite. Yeah, no doubt.
Finnegan's awesome. Well, good food too. Good food, good drink.
So
we went to Finnegan's
and burgers. Highly recommend them. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Sorry.
So we ate there. Wasn't that hard to get in. You do have to go up and put your name in for the reservations, but they're easier to get. So yeah. So and SeaWorld, there are no reservations. Like if you want to eat at Shark's Underwater Grill, I think you have to actually go to the podium and tell them you want to eat there. Because they used to have a thing on the app where it said, make a reservation, and that's missing now. So I think.
Oh, that's funny. I thought that was I thought that was still there, but now you show up in person and say, hey, what available times do you have?
Right. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, because I haven't eaten there, but I think that you actually show up and say, I want to eat at Shark's Underwater Grill. But I just right now, the last few times, I just have the lanyard for the food festivals.
Yeah, just last thing you want to do is get a restaurant.
Right.
Walking around having all this food. Yeah. Oh, their barbecue there is awesome, by the way. Yeah,
the barbecue place. The barbecue place is fantastic. Yeah,
and did they have a kiosk? Right, they have a kiosk now for the food fest, don't they? I thought they did. I read it.
They have a lot of different kiosks. Yeah, there's barbecue kiosks. There's every type of food you could possibly imagine, and all of it so far that I've had has been really good. So
that's awesome.
Let's see. We got no fast pass plus no park out. Let's see if there's anything else I haven't touched on. Some of the hotels. We'll talk about the hotels.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep. On both Universal and Disney have certain hotels that are still closed. Okay, figure out.
Catastrophe. Is he not getting your drink over? Oh, no, there goes Joe. No. I can edit this out.
Yeah. He's got my a thumb drive, and he's playing, which of course I'm not going to be able to find if it goes on the floor. Anyway,
that will take full possession of that, and you will lose that.
But some of the hotels are still closed. Polynesian, of course, they're rebuilding the monorail station and everything. Still closed. Over at Universal, Aventura's closed. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I think All-Star Movies
Kidani Village versus Kidani Village and
Kidani Village. Jumbo House is not really open except for DVC rooms. Over at the All-Stars, I think All-Star Movies just reopened, but they had a problem with rooms that flooded, and those people who had reservations got upgraded to the Grand Floridian.
How awesome is that?
Bonus!
Could you imagine getting an All-Star and then being upgraded to Grand Floridian? Goodness.
Note to self.
Yeah.
Book All-Star Movies, bring drill hole in pipe, get upgraded to Grand Floridian.
Oh my gosh. How awesome would that be?
Oh yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. And I feel bad, there were some people that booked some of the moderates like Coronado, and they're like, how about bumping the moderate people up to
us?
What about us? I mean, you're bumping up the people that paid $100 a night and leaving us in the dust. Anyway,
it's like the lottery.
Gonna do. That's it. It's like winning the lotto. You got it. You got that. Transportation. The buses are limited capacity, and they've been having problems during the last few weeks when it's been very busy.
Yeah.
The lines for the buses and the transportation have been very long. They don't really have enough buses to handle the amount of crowds that they have right now.
A third capacity.
Yeah, they are, because they have like we talked about before. They have zones Zone 1, Zone 2, and I think the last time we talked about this, we said Universal didn't have that. They do have that now, I believe. So they're using the zones again, or using the zones now. So, and the Epcot monorail closed, so there's no monorail between Epcot and the Magic Kingdom. Again, we just talked about the Polynesian monorail station that's closed. So there's differences in transportation. So before you book a hotel, you might want to check. And rental cars now, normally
expensive.
So people
rental
would say, just get a rental car. Well, guess what? Hertz went bankrupt during the pandemic. They're right up the road from me in Estero, and I know several people that went up there and bought cars from them because they sold off most of their fleet. A lot of the other companies sold off a lot of their fleet, so there's not that many rental cars to meet the demand that's out there. And I know somebody who just had an accident. Just had an accident and said, I had to borrow a car from my friend because my insurance company wouldn't pay the $500 a day that they wanted to charge for a rental car. Yeah. So the rental cars, if you're coming to Disney or Universal, probably not as much of an option right now. So unless you've reserved it a long time ago. So you're going to have to live with the transportation the way it is, and Uber, exactly. Lyft, Uber, Lyft, minivan's done, no minivan. So Uber, Lyft, minivan. Yep. Uber, Lyft, Mears still there, Yep. Go work with them.
Like this is of course experience with Mears. Yeah. So I highly recommend Mears. Like really good.
No, we've had really good experiences with them. Yeah. And what I was going to say is it's less of a problem at Universal, where most of the hotels, except for Surfside and Dockside at Endless Summer, those hotels, and even they're within walking distance if you want to walk. But of course, you're not walking all on Universal property. You're walking on some surface streets because they're kind of where Wet and Wild. They are exactly where Wet and Wild was before. So So there's you go over the highway bridge to get to Universal. Then Universal's right after that. But the other hotels are all on Universal property and can walk to the parks. So or take the boat, or so there is less of a problem at Universal than there is at Disney right now. And of course, SeaWorld is all contained and there's no transportation issues. So no Epcot monorail. Let's go over the difference in Rise of the Resistance, because that's a big thing with people now. If you want, as we mentioned, if you want Hollywood Studios, you're going to want to book it pretty far in advance. Make sure that's the first reservation you make. And on the day that you go to Hollywood Studios, you'll get texts and probably emails from Disney the night before or the day before, saying you're eligible to join the boarding group, and this happens now. They've changed the process. You don't have to tap into the park. Anybody who's in your My Disney Experience friend list is going to be included when you join, so you don't have to tap all their names, but you don't have to be in the park. So you could be home. One of these days I want to test it where I'm here in Naples to see if I'll get a boarding group and then drive up, because you can be anywhere and join a boarding group. And this happens at 7:00 in the morning. As before, they're gone in like 10 seconds. So you got to be really fast. They may, Disney of course doesn't say in any of their emails or texts that, hey, they're going to be gone in 10 seconds. So you do get a second chance. Yeah. You do get a second chance at 1:00. And for the 1:00 boarding groups, you must be in the park. So at 1:00, you'll get a chance. And I haven't been looking lately to see how many boarding groups they've been loading. If the ride has been breaking down. The last time I looked, which was a month or so ago, things were actually running a little bit smoother and they were loading more boarding groups. So hopefully
they figured out Kylo at the end there. They figured him out.
They figured him out. Right? He's got a B mode. His B mode is even more different than the Yeti's B mode.
Yeah.
Now you see it.
Or you don't.
I haven't seen his B mode. I've been lucky enough to see the A mode every time. So that if Rise of the Resistance is a priority to you, you still have to join the boarding group at 7 a.m. And I mean 7 a.m. on the dot. You watch the time on your smartphone, have your finger over the button. Your finger over the, ready to go. And practice beforehand, you'll get an error that, you're not eligible because you don't have a reservation or whatever, but practice and try and get one without.
Joe, great advice to one of our listeners. I would pat myself on the shoulder, but I got to pat you on the shoulder because it worked for him. Like you said, practice. Remember?
Yes.
He said he got on. So
practice. He did very well. Actually, he did. He did. What do you got? Like boarding group 2 or something like that, right?
I think it was more like 12, but yeah,
12,
but he did
12,
really
good.
well.
It's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, everybody. Great advice from Joe. Practice. Practice makes perfect.
Practice, exactly. Practice. But so that's it with the.
Hey everyone. This is the Disney Spirits podcast, episode 10, with a little addendum from Joe. So Joe, take it away.
All right, Gary. I don't know whether it was last night the fact that we were having so much fun after not doing this for a little while, or alcoholic consumption, or a combination of both. But when we were talking, exactly. But when we were talking about Universal and doing ride reservations, with Rise of the Resistance and then Universal, we didn't talk about the fact that if you want to ride Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventures,
I want to ride that,
which is a lot better ride than Title.
I want to ride it, Joe. I would like to ride that ride.
Yes, it is awesome. It is an awesome ride. Well worth getting up early and getting to Universal early, because that's what you're going to have to do, especially right now. There's a virtual line that's in effect almost every day, and you're going to have to make a reservation. Now, this is not like Rise of the Resistance where it's gone in 10 seconds. These are usually available for a little while at least, although they have been going very quickly lately because of spring break. But you're going to want to get there. If it's park's open at 8 o'clock, you're going to be there on Universal property at 8, because it's not like Rise of the Resistance. You cannot do it remotely. You have to be on Universal. Right.
Yeah.
And you're going to do this in the Universal app. So you want to set that up before you get to the park. Set yourself up in the Universal app so you can get your virtual line. And they've also been doing it for, well, of course, Jimmy Fallon, which has always had that, which has also been selling out. The Fast and the Furious has sometimes been selling out virtual lines. So that tells you how busy things are. And Revenge of the Mummy even has had virtual lines sometimes. It depends on the day. Sometimes you can get in line. Sometimes there's virtual line and you can get in line. But Hagrid's has pretty consistently been virtual line only lately. And if you want to ride it, and you should want to ride it, get there early. Park opens at 8. You want to be there at 8. Park opens at 9. You want to be there at 9. So you don't miss that ride.
Yeah, good tip. Awesome ride. Are you having a catastrophe in the background?
There is a catastrophe.
Earthquake. You had
He did not make an appearance, but of course he always makes his presence felt like most cats.
Yeah, so that's good advice. I'm glad we got back together to discuss this, because people be very disappointed. A lot of people, obviously that ride is one of the new premier rides at Universal, so people be very disappointed if they show up and figure they're going to be getting in line only to find it sold out.
You can't get in line. You must do the virtual line. So if you show up and can't get in line, you're pretty bummed. Especially if it's your one day Universal. And so plan ahead accordingly and be ready for that. And like I said, it's not like you're going to, it's not like Rise of the Resistance gone in 10 seconds, but it is, you pick your time with this virtual line. One tip, when you do pick the virtual line, when you're, a grid of times will come up. Don't ever pick the first one, because everybody's picking the first one.
Yeah.
Pick one further down the line, because what'll happen is you pick the first one and then you lose it. Then you go and pick the first one again and you lose it. And if it's going real fast, you might be out. So go pick one of the later times and you'll be in.
Yeah, more good advice. And my advice is skip the Jimmy Fallon ride. God.
No, Jimmy Fallon ride is okay. Skip Fast and the Furious if you're to skip it.
I got a list.
And definitely skip Shrek. Shrek has had like 80-minute lines the other day. I'm like, I can't believe. Can you imagine waiting 80 minutes for Shrek and then?
No,
yeah,
I'd be throwing tables over by the time I got
absolutely.
out of the ride. I think I hate Shrek more than Fast and the Furious. I don't know why. I just have this passion against that Shrek ride. I can't stand it. But those three, Fallon, Fast and Furious and Shrek. I think I convinced you to go on Fallow last time we were there.
Yeah,
if I remember. Yeah, because it's not good.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm more okay with it than you are. I like hashtag the panda in the queue.
Oh, I like the. Oh yeah.
He's always around. He's always around waving from the upstairs windows and stuff. Now that's especially during these times, the coronavirus times, he's up there separate from everybody waving from the window. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, so that's our tip for today. We missed it last night, and I felt like I didn't want to leave everybody out in the cold. I want just to show you how we want to make sure you're ready. So
yeah, that's how prepared That's how much we want you to be prepared and have.
That's how much we care. So we decided to record this little postscript so you guys would know about that.
Cool. All right, carry on.
Another thing, Rise of the Resistance. That's it. There's no more free magic bands. So Disney's not giving out magic bands anymore. So you can either use your smartphone with what is it called?
RFID.
Well, yeah, no, but they have a name for it. Hang on, let me look on the app. It is. There's a name.
Like on hold.
Let's see. Magic Mobile Pass.
Oh, so sorry. I thought you were talking about the technology. Yeah.
No, it is RFID. Yeah, you're right about that. But it's the name of the app, not app or whatever. It's in the Disney app, but it's called Magic Mobile Pass. And this is going to replace your Magic Band. You'll open your right. It works. It right now only works on iOS.
Apple. So yes, it does.
As of right now, you can have an Apple Watch or an iPhone, and you can use this. It is not yet available for Android, but I'm sure it shortly will be, considering Android is the predominant ecosystem around the world.
Dominant only in value, not in functionality. So, anyways, moving right along.
Back to
this. If you remember this. When Magic Bands first started coming out, in Apple Watches first started coming out, that they actually said, "Hey, and you'll be able to use your Apple Watch at the park as your ticket." Right. Do you remember that? And then it just sort of like disappeared. Like, oh, we're not doing that.
I don't remember
forget it.
Well, it's back. I always remember thinking, why is it not usable as your ticket? I mean, I always.
It's not the same technology.
Yeah, so that's good. But your Magic Bands will still continue to work. So if you have a collection of Magic Bands like I do, like I said, I'll never have a collection of Magic Bands, but yet I do. So and some of them make some cool tap sounds and lights and stuff. So I'm going to continue to use them.
I will
and
say
for now,
that my Haunted Mansion one, when it did the Haunted Mansion sound, the person. Remember, even the person at the turn was like,
they're always surprised. They're always, I think there's so few of them that come through. They're always like, whoa, that's different. That's different.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it. No more free Magic Bands. And I'm trying to think of if there's anything else. No fireworks shows. No nighttime shows. Universal has started shows again. SeaWorld has concerts for their Seven Seas Food Festival. Like there was Night Ranger and Blue Oyster Cult the last time I was there, and I love Blue Oyster Cult, and I was really disappointed. And you love Night Ranger, and I was like so bummed out that it's always on a Sunday, and I'm like, I'm not a kid anymore. I got to drive home. I got to go to work tomorrow. But
always no joke.
They were doing a sound check. They were doing a sound check as I was leaving the park, and they sounded awesome. So and the Night Ranger was the night before, and Amy and I were at Universal and just decided, we're having a good time here. We're going to just stay.
Big miss.
Anyway, so they've got concerts going, but of course they have a big advantage. They have a massive. The stadium, the Bayside Stadium it's huge. It's like a minor league baseball stadium practically. So they can socially distance the concerts and put them on. whereas Disney and Universal is doing their cinematic whatever spectacular. No, I don't know what it's called now. Anyway, it's a good show.
Oh, it's a show on the water. That one with
they've been doing it I think periodically, but not every night. I don't think. I don't know.
So
anyway,
one of the things that you just kind of I don't even know if you mentioned kind of because we're trying to be quick on this podcast because it's sort of like a rehash, but parades at Disney.
Yes.
Our cavalcades now instead of just parades, like full out parades.
Right. There are no character meet and greets, so there are no real parades. So they have these cavalcades, which are basically small groups of characters coming through the park. Everybody's going through the park as normal, and all of a sudden some cast members will come up and say, "Step aside," characters coming through. The music starts. They'll pass through. Everybody waves. Everybody takes pictures. They go past. The music ends, and then you go about your business. And
so much better. So much better.
This is one of the things that I really hope continues.
I hope it stays. Yep.
I really hope these continue.
So much better. Yep.
Yeah. And at Universal, the character meet and greets that they have are again socially distanced. So you'll be like, they'll be behind you, and you'll stand in front of them and just make a pose, and the character is behind you and take your picture, but there's no actual
the Raptor
greet.
Still looks awesome. The
Raptor
pictures with the Raptor still awesome.
Blue.
Yeah.
Blue.
Yeah. Yep. Blue.
Oh, yeah. No, that whole area is looking really good. Really, really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
When you walk over when they have the bypass bridge open that goes from Seuss Landing to Jurassic Park and bypasses the Lost Continent and the Wizarding World, the one that they opened when they actually were building the Wizarding World and you couldn't go that way. They of course they reinforced that bridge. They made it much better because I know they're
much permanent.
much more permanent. Yeah, and the coaster kind of wraps around that bridge, and when you see the coaster going from that bridge, you realize, wow, this thing is really cool. Yeah, this is going to be a great coaster. Cool. Yeah. So, cool. And let's see what else. If I got anything, missed anything. Play areas are closed. Stage shows, not too many. We hit that. Nighttime shows. Parks are now starting to be open later, and I think this is something that's kind of true in normal times as well. The last few hours that the park is open is when you're going to find the shortest lines, and it's going to be the most enjoyable to be there. So, and that's definitely been true during the whole pandemic time. People, especially in the summertime, when we were going in the summertime, people get tired of the mask. You really, you have to take a break. And that's one thing I'll touch on. You have to take a break.
All right.
There are areas where you can take your mask off. There are socially distanced seating areas, break areas. Each of them calls them some. Universal, Disney, and SeaWorld all call them something different. But you can sit down and take your mask off and take a break from having your mask on. I find that the Disney ones are smaller. The Universal ones are large, really, really better. I'll just, for lack of a better word, better. They're bigger areas. The tables are very spaced out, but you'll always usually find some place to sit or stand where there's nobody else around, and you take your mask off and take a break. And the Disney areas I found them to be kind of small, and sometimes you go over there and there wouldn't be any seating available in them, and you're like, okay, I can't go into that. Don't want to go into that. So interesting. But it is good that they have these places, because in the summertime when it gets hot, I found that 4 or 5 hours with your mask on constantly and you're sweating, and it's like, okay, I got to take a break. So you're going to want to bring, especially if you go during a hot time of year, you're going to want to bring multiple masks. Don't bring just one, because it's going to get sweaty.
Oh yeah. Good advice.
Yeah. The type of mask, Disney does not allow gaiters or any bandanas or anything. Universal and SeaWorld allow neck gaiters. for masks, but for Disney, you need something that's going to cover your nose, go under your chin, be snug on your face, and and be held by your ears. So, and be mindful that you're going to be wearing it for a while, and you're going to want to
make sure it's comfortable.
Yeah,
get a good.
They all sell masks. They all sell masks. Disney has. I find like the Disney ones. I have a couple of the Disney ones. They're extra large. They fit me really good. I don't know why. This Roman Italian nose.
I will say that to me, the Disney ones run a little bit small because even the small ones are small on Haley.
Yeah, and that's why I need the extra large. I couldn't wear them. I have one. I bought one, like a tiki room one, that was large, and I had to give it to Amy because I couldn't wear it. I have a Universal one that's really cool that has the retro Universal logo. Universal only has small, medium, and large, and the large is not big enough for me, so I can't really wear it. It's too tight. Wouldn't be comfortable. So I have some masks that I bought at Target that I usually bring, and then I have a Star Wars one that I got from Disney, so I'll bring that one too. And then we switch out during the day.
But the masks that we got from Old Navy and Gap, they're adjustable, so they're really
cool. Those are cool. I have one of those. I haven't really used it that much yet, but I have one of those too. So
yeah, that's a good one. Yep, highly recommend it. There you go. Plug for. Hey, Old Navy, if you're listening, and Gap, if you're listening, hey, we're always looking for sponsors. Just say, just throw that out there.
Why don't you put a link on your Twitter feed to our podcast?
Yeah,
these guys talk about our masks. I want to say the most, I think we've covered a lot of things. Do you have any questions, Gary?
I don't. I've been asking them all along, so that's good. Yeah, I think we've. I think one of the big things is that we sort of discussed is some of the things that we're put in place. I hope they stay. I want to reiterate that point because those cavalcades, I've seen so many videos. I've watched them. So much better, much better than this. You make sure that you stake a claim at an area for a half hour, and you send people out for drinks, and you send people out for food, and then someone stands right in front of you.
Yeah, right. At the last second, somebody jumps right in front of you, and you're like, I just waited here an hour, and you came at the last second.
Have noticed. You may or may not have noticed that I'm not exactly the tallest person in the world. So 3/4 of the population can stand in front of me, and I will not be seeing this. Right,
I'm right there with you, my friend.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I mean, that kind of stuff is annoying, and I love the quick hits. The quick cavalcades, the quick. All of a sudden, there's a princess standing on a balcony and waving to people. That's awesome, and that to me is the way it used to be back in the day. That's the way it used to be. Yeah, spontaneous.
Awesome. And the cavalcades are spontaneous. Yeah. I think most people don't expect them to come, and all of a sudden, here's these characters here, and you're like, oh wow, this is so darn cool. I mean, really, I love them, and I'm with you. I hope they stay.
Yeah. Disneyland never let go of that. Disneyland is still kind of like that. They don't really have. They do have some of the character meet and greets, but they really have just characters walking around because I mean, ultimately from it's their home per se, and they should just be walking around and just be,
of course, that's the whole point, right? They're walking around. It's their home, I love I miss those days. I understand the meet and greets. I understand people would come with the expectation of their children want to meet Mickey Mouse, and if he doesn't happen to walk around by them, So I understand these things, but those were the good old days. Don't want to date myself, but the cavalcades are a good medium.
I love that.
It's like in the middle between the two.
Yep. Yeah, I love the idea.
I hope it sticks. So one of the things I want to mention, and as people can see, if you listen to our last podcast about COVID, that what we're saying today is things are slowly opening up. There are more things available. There are more things to do. Some things are still not available. So please, if you go, manage your expectations. A number one bit of advice. If you're coming where it's your first time or whatever, it's a little different than your normal Disney vacation. Don't expect it to be exactly the same. There's things that are going to not be available. Don't blame the cast members if they're not available.
Not the cast members' fault, right?
Do your research and find out what's not going to be available. And it's very important to you. Postpone your trip until it is available.
Yeah.
And if you keep that in mind, you'll be able to have a good time. You'll be able to relax, because I will say that, it's not the same. And Amy will always say it's not the same, but it's a darn bit better than nothing. Okay. It's better than sitting here staring at the four walls. Yeah. Okay. And it's worth every penny we spent on going up there in the last, the last year or so, since last June, when Universal opened and SeaWorld opened and Disney opened in July. So yeah, it's
on what you're saying, Joe, it's what was that? Geez, now I forgot where I saw it, but the most important thing to pack now when you're going to Disney, your patience. Pack your
patience. Pack your patience.
Never take it out on the cast members. They nothing to do with any of this stuff. You know what I mean? They are trying their best. They, have a job through all this. Let them do their job. Understand what they're up against. They understand what you're up against. Understand what they're up against. They're trying to give you the best experience possible in these times. Understand that.
Yeah.
Follow the rules. Just follow the rules. You can make it so much better for yourself, for everyone around you, for the cast members, and no matter where you are, just follow the rules. It's that simple. It's not a large undertaking,
No, it's not.
And it makes it better for everyone. So just
they're not complicated rules. I mean, the most important two rules are you're going to get your temperature checked and you're going to wear your mask all the time. And if you follow those two rules, you're good to go. They're going to ask you to sanitize your hands. Just do it. It's good for you. Nobody wants to spread this stuff, and these guys, they don't. All it's going to take is a few cases at Disney, and next thing you know, we're going backwards. So let's keep going forwards and keep things going, keep the momentum going the way it's going right now, where we're kind of slowly but surely creeping towards normal operation, which is what we all want.
And in the amount of things that we've seen, Joe, at the parks, the amount of times we've been to the parks, the amount of things we've seen, you want to sanitize your hands constantly.
Yeah, right, exactly. We talked about that before. People licking things and kids licking railings and whatnot. It's like, holy cow.
Things. But anyways, So I think it sounds like we're wrapping it up. Or did you have a few other things we can? Because I think we covered most of it. It's kind of we really discussed things that we were talking about before. Things have changed just, slightly. Things are getting better, knock on wood. Hopefully they continue to get better. To review, just follow the rules. Everyone will have a better time. And you're partially responsible for just making sure that everyone's a good time. No. Yeah, well, you know what? You are.
You.
We need you.
Follow the rules.
Please follow the rules. It just makes things so much better for everyone.
Yeah,
it does. Yep. So I think we're wrapping it up. Unless you got something else, Joe. Are we wrapping it up?
I think we're wrapping it up. I think we covered just about everything. If anybody has any questions or anything that they want us to talk about a little bit more, please leave a comment under the video or send us an email. thedisneyspirits@gmail.com, and we will be more than happy to answer your question if we can.
We've done good things. We've done good things recently for some other listeners. So
we have. We helped a few. Not to pat ourselves on the back.
Doing the job.
There we go.
Doing it. I was going to say something else. Yeah, so we've done a shout out to all the employees before at these amusement parks. As always, we, please treat all these people as you would like to be treated yourself. Yeah, they're just trying to give you vacation, and they're doing it, especially nowadays. They're doing a job that it's rough. It's not as easy as it normally is, and they are still trying to give you the best experience possible. So be easy on them. Tip your bartenders, tip
your servers well, because tip your servers well, because they're working hard right now under not that great of circumstances. So it's really important. So and that's it.
Yeah. All right. So Joe, do we got to close? We got to close for this podcast? I believe we do.
We do. Absolutely. As usual. In the immortal words of Warren Zevon, and it's never been more important than these times right now, everybody, please remember, enjoy every sandwich.
Words to live by. Thank you, Warren.
Sir. Thank you, Warren Zevon. Another R.I.P. R.I.P. Warren Zevon.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Till next time. Hopefully we'll have a podcast out soon. We're gonna no more 6 months. Yeah.
we're not taking 6-month breaks anymore. We promise.
Please feel free to send us any suggestions for the next podcast at the Disney Spirits at gmail.com, and we'll see what we can do. We're like a wealth of knowledge. The two of us. Wealth of knowledge.
We are wealth of knowledge. We may go back to some top 5 lists. Who knows?
Yeah. Right on.
Sounds cool. Good.
All right, Joe. Right. Good talking
everyone.
with you as always.
Take care, Gary. Thank you very much. Take care, and we'll talk to everybody later.
Sounds good. Take it easy.
All right. Take care. Bye.
So you're saying that you think maybe from your perspective now, do you know something about life and death that maybe I don't know now?
Not unless I know how much you're supposed to enjoy every sandwich. You know.